of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. This is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
Welcome to COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne, and it's a pink out tonight. Now, I don't know where half my people went, but hopefully they will come on here and show their beautiful faces because we have started. So I need them to come on back in the room. But as you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I wanted to end this month with a celebration of some people that I love and care about. And in particular tonight, wanted to bring some brothers to the stage. One of our brothers is missing. So the one that's here is going to have to make up and take up the rear for him until he either gets here or he doesn't. But just want to share a little bit about, what this breast cancer survival has looked like for some people. And, a lot of people don't realize that men too can have breast cancer. Women can, because we're the ones always walking around in pink and always talking about it, and the Susan Komen Foundation. But this show tonight hopefully will enlighten and educate some people and bring awareness also to some sisters out there as you hear some other individuals who share their stories. So welcome to the Pink Out. And so if you know somebody that needs to be here and be a part of this conversation, please, 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 please ask them to come and join us for a crucial conversation, but a celebration, because tonight, that's what this is about. This is about celebrating life and being aware also of what breast cancer can mean in your life and in the life of your family members. And so, want to do a round robin, ask you all to introduce yourselves first, just, a little bit about who you are, because I don't read bios. Y'all know that. You're going to tell us who you are, and then you can tell them what you want them to know, and then I'll fill in the blanks, because I know y'all. So I get to tell my aunts, well, with the exception of our very special guest, who I'm still trying to get. I think he is in the middle of all these women. These are like your cheerleaders for the night. So, yeah, don't you feel special? So, so we're going to start with you all introducing yourselves, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and anything else you want to tell them, and then I'll fill in the rest. Shall I call on you all? Yeah. Okay, so I'll do that. All right. Okay, so we're going to go, let me see. Who have I known the longest? Let me see. I think it would be Edris Leftwich. I think so. I'm going with who I've known the longest.
I knew you were going to say that, Adrienne.
You knew I was going to say that. You knew I was going to say that.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Edris Leftwich. I am a 52-year resident of Tuskegee, born and bred in Montgomery. Married my husband of 50 years. We had 3 children, 4 with his daughter. I was for 17 years principal of St. Joseph Catholic School, and that is how I met and learned and loved dear Adrienne and her whole family, because they're a strong Catholic family in Tuskegee, and especially of our church. I am thank the good Lord, 11-year breast cancer survivor. Hey. Yes. And I am forever blessed, and thank the good Lord every day for that.
Yes.
And just not to take up time, I just say, for women, please get your mammograms. I missed a year, and the year that I did have it was the year that it was discovered. So I'm thankful. I'm glad it was discovered then. I was stage 1. I had it in both breasts, a smaller area in one and quite invasive in the other. So I just decided to have a bilateral mastectomy. I just said there's too much to worry about it coming back. So I'm very good with that. I was good. I made the decision.
Yeah.
And I was satisfied with it. My children and husband were extremely supportive, and my family, and I survived on the love of my family and friends and prayers. One thing I decided to do when I found it out was I was not going to keep it a secret, and I was going to tell those that were near and dear to me, and I did. And all I wanted was prayers. And when I see people, they say, you're on my prayer list, or I'm praying for you, that just meant all the world to me. And it sustained me and kept me going, and it still does. So that's why whenever I hear about anyone that has been stricken with breast cancer or any cancer, I just believe in the power of prayer. We've got to be positive and believe that he will be there and he'll sustain us through whatever we go through.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to say thank you for having me on, Adrienne. And I'm looking forward to this evening.
She forgot to tell you, she is my youngest my youngest son.
That's right. I'm the godmother of her youngest. That's right, the youngest son. All of her children are talented, but he's the most talented.
He won't tell anybody, but
No, he won't tell anybody that.
Listen, he is my most talented youngest son. How about that?
How about that? Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Thank you so much for being here. And yes, she was my principal as well. So yeah. Okay, so let me see. Who do I go to next? Because I think there's like a tie between two of y'all. So I'm gonna skip down here to Phyllis Austin. Because there's a tie between Janice and Deborah.
Because that's punishment for not showing my face on time.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm Phyllis Austin, and I am not a breast cancer survivor. I say that I'm a friend of breast cancer survivors. And that word friend means an awful lot to me. And so when Janet sent me the link, then the thing to do was to come and support her and to be here with her. I'm a native of Selma, Alabama, as a foot soldier from the civil rights movement in Selma. I'm 74 years old, and I say that with pride. But I'm Janet's friend, Idris's friend, and I've been there to see them through the darkest hours. And I think that those of us who have been blessed enough to not have to go through, to walk that journey, should at least be able to walk with our friends through it. Even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and somebody says, I need to talk to you, then you don't need to say, well, I don't wake up at 1, call me at noon. Right. You need to wake up and talk to your friend. And so I call myself friend. Mm-hmm. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you all tonight.
I appreciate you being here. So now that gives me a segue. So I'm going to come back to Janice and Deborah, because my friend, my twin, you want me to tell the story? Or you going to tell the story?
I'll let you tell the story.
Okay. So in 1985, on the campus of Florida A&M University in McGuinn Hall and Diamond Hall, they were connected. When we were freshmen, they put our birth dates on the door. They put everybody's name and birthday on the door. And so I went on this quest to find everybody who was born on April 6, 1967. And so I found 3 other young ladies. And so one of them, we don't know where she is. Her name happens to be April, but the other 2, I grabbed a hold to them all those years ago and have not let them go. And so my twin, Carol Calhoun, is here. Thank you, twin.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me and inviting me. I am Carol Calhoun. I found out I had breast cancer in 2015 through a routine mammogram. Probably started having mammograms when I was in my early 20s. I had cystic breasts, and then a lot of African-American women have cystic or fibroids at some point. And I had cystic breasts, so I've been having annual mammograms for a very long time. So when this particular one, they asked me to call back, come back in the office to have another test, and I had a biopsy and later had surgery and then did 6 rounds of radiation. And my biggest story would be I continued to work through the process. I would go in for radiation treatments in the morning and leave. I would drop my girls off at school, go in for radiation treatments in the morning and continue on into the office. And the one thing that I definitely learned from that process was that you need time to take care of yourself. That when I think a lot of times women are, oh, I can handle it and I'm strong and I'll, beat this thing and I don't need help and I'll be okay. And you try to just do everything. And sometimes when we get diagnoses like this, it's, time to be calm and sit down and relax and take care of yourself, and not worry about other people as much. So what I would tell anybody that has been diagnosed is take the time off, take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself and take time to heal, because it seems like you want to stay positive and not get into woe is me, but you really need to take the time to be gentle with yourself and take care of yourself.
Thank you, twin. I'm so glad you're here. I didn't even have to twist her arm too much. Come on here.
Like you usually do.
Right, like I usually do, because I'm the talker. And so I appreciate her. Oh, there's our other brother coming in here. We're going to see if he gets turned around. So I'm going to go to Deborah next. Even though I still believe she and Janice are like neck and neck in my life, but I'm going to go to Deborah next. Tell them who you are, Deborah.
Well, I'm older than Janice. I'm Deborah Ann Wallace Hughes Huffman. I have to give all of my names. And I've known Adrienne since she was at St. Joseph. Really before then, I knew her parents before she was born. But I'm from Tuskegee, Alabama. Wasn't born here, but I've been here almost 68 years. So I'm a Tuskegean. Finished Tuskegee Institute, which is now the university, but I claim Institute. I'm a friend and sorority sister of Phyllis, Janice, and Idris. I never had cancer, but I have an aunt who suffered with cancer for years and years, and she eventually died. And that was really devastating to me because she was a favorite aunt. But I'm here to support my friends and sorority sisters, and I'll claim Adrienne as a daughter.
That's right.
Because I claim her brother as my son. Yes. And I'm glad to be here and to join with you all tonight.
Thank you so much. All right, Miss Janice, and her best friend is on here, but not on here. I don't know where she went, because usually you don't see one without the other. So I'm not, there she is. There she is. So Miss Janice.
Oh my goodness. Everybody's, I don't know where to start. Adrienne said send a bio, and I did. I sent a bio and a picture and all that kind of stuff. But I'm Janice Jones Robinson. I am from Tuskegee. I am a recent breast cancer survivor. I will have my first checkup on Thursday of this week. It's been a journey. It's been a journey that Deborah, Phyllis, Janet, Idris have walked this journey with me. And I mean, I can't say enough about when Phyllis says, you need to call somebody, she'll say, call me anytime. But I too had taken my mammogram, and I missed 2 years. And those were 2 years I was busy and saying, oh yeah, I'll get it, and kind of forgot about it. And when I was doing just a routine mammogram, getting ready to have surgery on my parathyroid gland, I found out that the day before that I had breast cancer. And that was scary. That was devastating. That was just made me crazy. And then I had to pull myself together because I had to have surgery the next morning. So I didn't want my pressure high. And, my husband said, you are really calm. But I don't know that I was calm. But as Idris said, prayer, I believe in the power of prayer. because, you know, I called on prayer warriors and I called on my family, and I just leaned on my faith right then to get through that part. But I ended up going to the Cancer Treatment Center in Noonan, and I had a mastectomy. And
it's all right. I don't know if you remember this, but I called you that day. That day, Janice was in my 10 by 10. And so every day, I reach out to 10 different people by 10 a.m., or at least that's what I try to do. Sometimes I get on the phone with some, they keep me a little longer, so I'm after 10. And so I literally just lean to whoever it is that God places on my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I called Janice that day and she said, girl, you're not going to believe it. I'll never forget it. She said, girl, you're not going to believe this. I was just diagnosed with breast cancer and I got to have surgery tomorrow. And I was like, what? I mean, Janice is like my big sister because her dad was like my dad's dad after my grandfather passed. And so our families are like this. And all I could think was, I am so sick of this thing called cancer.
Well, I'm here today, cancer-free, no chemo, no radiation. And it's been a journey. I started the reconstruction process with the tissue expander. It did not work. It started leaking and had my skin irritated. They had to remove it. So that was a setback to me. But I got over it and I said, okay. He said, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to take it out, put it back in, sew it up, and we can move forward, you know, and start again, or I can take it out, sew it up, and, you know, whatever you want to do. I said, take it out, sew it up, because I'm ready to go. And from then I just, you know, I prayed and I just lean on my family and my friends, and God, I just don't know how I would have made it without them. My daughter has just joined us too. So I sent it out to all my people and said, hey, y'all come on if you can. But I just thank you for the opportunity, you know, to talk about it, because I don't mind talking about it. I'm like Idris. I wasn't letting it be a secret, right. You know, and some people don't want you to know, but I wanted people to know. And I work with young people and I tell them, hey, don't look at it as being scary. Look at it as that you're keeping yourself informed and you're learning your bodies. You know, young people don't pay attention to their bodies, but I'm just thankful that God has brought me to this point. And thank you for the opportunity for this platform.
Well, I appreciate you so much. We're going to introduce Janet. Want you to introduce yourself before we go to the brothers in the house, because I am so excited about them being here.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. I was on here to support my best friend, Janice. Was not intending to speak at all. And so that's why you saw me kind of muting my camera and going in and out. But I am happy to be here with everyone this evening. I am, for those of you who don't know me, I am Janet Owens. I was born and raised in Tuskegee, Alabama. However, I have taken a second home in a small town called COUCHville, Virginia, where I have been for the last 36 years, going on 37. But Tuskegee will always be home. I started my journey with breast cancer 5 years ago. So I am 5 years cancer-free as of now. When I found out that I had breast cancer, it was doing an annual routine mammogram, which I took very seriously because I do have a sister in Tuskegee who is also a breast cancer survivor. So ever since she had her journey, we were all very careful about having our annual mammograms and doing checks, and even going as so far as to have the BRCA gene test to see if I was a carrier. But in spite of it all, I did have a positive mammogram of breast cancer. So it was a very hard thing for me to endure, just as it is for any woman. And for me, I'm normally the strong one, the strong-willed person. But when I got that diagnosis, I remember it as if it were yesterday. And I'm here in Virginia. My family is in Tuskegee. So when I got that, I just was very emotional. I lost total control of myself. And I reached out to my one and only, my close sister, Cynthia, in Tuskegee. She picked me up from that moment. I was able to get home. And then I talked to family members who were my comforters. My ordeal with breast cancer, I ended up having a lumpectomy on the left breast. It was what a team of doctors suggested for me at the time as being the best route for me, being that I was in stage 1 and it was not invasive, it had not spread. So I was lucky in that case. After that, after my surgeries and healing took place, I had 21 days of radiation. And I had supportive friends to carry me for the first 3 days. And then when I discovered, hey, this is a piece of cake, I can do it, I just made that journey on my own with the prayers of others daily supporting me. And there are many people to thank along my journey. I thank God first and foremost, because I know that prayer is a healer. And I know that it was the thing that gave me strength as well as comfort. I thank my family, my friends, my best friend, who also came up here to be with me and spent a week just to pamper me and bring me back to total healing and health. I thank my sorority sisters, who were the family that I didn't have when I was actually going through some of my surgery. I ended up having reconstructive after the radiation. So although I had family with me the first 2 surgeries, the third one, I had my sorority sisters with me, who were there at 5:00 a.m. They prayed with me. They stayed with me. They came home with me. And to this day, I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful to God that I can say that I am a survivor, and that I hope that I've been able to bless others the way that they have blessed me. And I thank you for this opportunity to share my story, or some of my story, this evening. I appreciate it. Thanks.
I appreciate you so much for being here. So thank you to all of the pink ladies in the house. I just appreciate you all. But tonight, what I really wanted to do was to have these 2 brothers come on here to share their story. Because a lot of times people are under the misconception that breast cancer only happens to women. But I got 2 brave brothers here tonight who are going to share their story. So we're going to take a quick break. If you know somebody that needs to be a part of this conversation, please invite them to join COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne, or they can go to the Jericho Broadcast Network Facebook page, or they can download the MyJBN app, where we are having real talk with real people for real solutions. So come back and join us after this quick break, because we got to pay the bill. But we will be back in just a moment. Please come back and join us.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like really loves.
200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
I had to buy me some pig.
Welcome back to COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne. I always told y'all we have the best fun during the commercial break when y'all can't hear what's going on. So all my women of Delta Sigma Theta that are on here talking about they don't have no pink, but they looking all lovely tonight in their pink. I'm gonna make sure they have some more though. I'm gonna make sure they have some more. So welcome back to this conversation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is a pink out, and so the pink ladies have introduced themselves, and so now we're going to go to the brothers who were really the ones that I wanted to have this conversation with tonight, because a lot of people don't realize that men get breast cancer too. So I am going to go first to Mr. Clifford Armstead of Men to Men.
Hi, Dr. Adrienne. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. As you said, men do get breast cancer too, unfortunately. When I found out in 2016, it was 1 in 1,000 men. Now here it's 1 in 865 men that are diagnosed with breast cancer. My journey first started, every day I normally wear a dress shirt to work, and me and the other guys normally go out to eat, and I looked down and I thought I had wasted some food or something on my shirt. Well, wiped it off, got home, and took a shower and put another t-shirt on and find out it was blood again in my shirt. Didn't know it was blood, find out later it was blood. So like most men, I ended up putting a bandage on it. Well, this went by for about a week. And my wife normally travels and I don't see her for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. And then when she came back and she seen me come out the shower with a bandage on, she said, "What's going on?" And she said, "We're not going to let this happen. We're not going to let another day go by without getting you seen and go and get screened." So we went by the local hospital, and they had me lay out on the table, such as they do with the ladies with the self-examination. And looked at the guy crazy, like, "What's going on? Why are you rubbing all on me?" And the guy said, "Well, you know what, I have to let you know there's a slim chance you may have breast cancer." And they rushed me through the system. I had to go to the women imaging department at Methodist Charlton. And they were very nice. They said, "Mister, you're in the wrong place." I said, "No, I'm here to get a mammogram." But they ended up being really nice. They said, "Yes, sir, we do have your name on the list." And went down my mammogram, which led to a biopsy. I came back in about 2 weeks on my lunch break, needless to say, to find out it was cancerous. That was very hard to deal with, coming back from lunch, knowing that I had cancer. My trip making it back home, I looked all over for anything pertaining to male breast cancer. There was not a thing pertaining to male breast cancer. You find everything, Susan B. Coleman, all information regarding women breast cancer. It wasn't nothing dealing with men. So late on that evening, my doctor had called me. What had happened is that Methodist Charleston was starting a male support group. And the gentleman that headed the group, Mr. Michael Annette, he reached out to me and told me that he was a breast cancer survivor of 5 years at that time. And that he told me what to expect. He would be there my day of my surgery, because I opted out for a double mastectomy. It was in my left nipple, but I opted out to get both nipples, both breasts removed. And after the breast, well, actually before the surgery, Michael Annette, he met me there. I hadn't seen the guy in person or anything. He met me there at 5:45 in the morning. He just so happened to have been a reverend. And from all you ladies I heard, you are prayer warriors, you believe in God. I'm a man of God myself. And it really touched my heart that this gentleman was here, took time out of his busy schedule to come. He actually held my hand all the way to the operating room and prayed with me. He said, I will never forget, he said, this is as far as I can take you. God have you right now. And it just touched my soul that someone would be there for me that whole way. So after the surgery, days after, you know, as you ladies know, you had these drainage bags up under your arm after the surgery. I was asked to by Charlton Methodist to come out and speak at a breast cancer awareness. It just so happened to happen around the same time. I got diagnosed in September. By the time I was through with the surgery and all, that was around October. So they asked me to come out and speak at the presentation it was having. And I was just too honored because someone reached back and helped me. And it's been my thing to going forward. If I can help somebody, if I can tell my story, if I can just save one person or comfort one person going forward about breast cancer, letting them know they're not the only one. And I must tell you, ladies, what you're doing is a godsend as well. We all have a ministry. You were blessed to have a ministry to tell people about your breast cancer and the journey that you're going. Let them know that it's not the end of the world, you know. You have breast cancer, but breast cancer don't have you. You know, so take it, talk about it. You hold the power. Don't let it hold you. So from that point on, I've been one of the men for Being for Men. I've been a spokesperson for Texas Oncology. I left that out. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm just honored to be amongst you. Is it Tuskegean?
Tuskegee, yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just honored. I'm just honored to be in the midst of you ladies. But yes, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've been here all my life. And it's been a journey. I've been invited. So just talking about it has allowed and opened so many doors, been invited all over, a bunch of different newscasts, commercials and stuff like that. Actually, I'm one of the the faces of Texas Oncology here, which is the cancer specialist here. Also been spokesman for a lot of different things pertaining to male breast cancer awareness as well. Here, I work for the city of Lancaster, and the city of Lancaster has honored me as well. I get a chance, opportunity to put on different events for the city of Lancaster for breast cancer awareness. And my whole journey from this point on is just to bring awareness, not only for men, but women as well, because we have helped raise money for ladies that couldn't afford to get the mammograms and stuff like that. So any opportunity I get a chance to get out and speak for early detection is key to longevity dealing with breast cancer. A lot of you ladies, I heard you say you had stage 1, stage 2 and stuff like that. You know, the earlier you can go get seen and get screened. And then with the men, I focus on men a lot because a lot of men are hard-headed. And I call it being selfish. We are stewards of our community. We are kings of our homes. And the kids, we're fathers, grandfathers, and stuff like that. And we need to be the ones to be perfect role models to these kids, allowing them to know it's okay to go to the doctor. It's okay to get seen. It's okay to allow to ask questions, to give answers to doctors if you need a shot or whatnot. If some don't feel good on you, let someone know. Go see a physician, go get seen. So I've just been an advocate of good health is your wealth, because without your health, who cares about the wealth?
Right.
And so thank you very much, ladies, and I'm open to any questions that you may have. But thank you, Dr. Adrienne, for having me on tonight.
Well, thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to Mr. Vance Stacks Jr. down here. Pink ain't what you think.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, doctor? How are you?
Good.
All right, my name is Vance Stacks Jr. I am a resident of Memphis, Tennessee. I am a 3-time male breast cancer survivor. It's been a journey. In 2013, I was in a car accident and went to the hospital, and the doctor noticed a small black dot on my x-ray. He immediately sent me to an oncologist. The oncologist did a biopsy. That biopsy came back negative. 3 or 4 weeks later, I was at home and noticed that the knothead came back, and it was the size of a pecan or a quarter, but it had grew, 3 times the size it was at first. So I went back to the doctor and my primary care physician, and he sent me to another oncologist. That oncologist did a second biopsy and came back and advised me that I had breast cancer. That was on a Monday. The following Thursday, I was in surgery. Had surgery. I was cancer-free, didn't have to have any chemo or radiation. I was cancer-free for 6 years. In 2019, I was in a family reunion in Atlanta, and I started feeling lethargic and tired and exhausted. I would go to bed at 9 and wake up at 9 in the morning and feel like I hadn't been to sleep at all. So I told my cousins on the boat that night, I said, I think my cancer's back. I'm feeling the same way I felt the first time. And when I got back to Memphis, of course, I went to my doctor. He sent me to an oncologist, did a biopsy, and my cancer was in stage 3. I immediately had emergency surgery that following week and did 27 rounds of chemo. Did that, was on the road to recovery, went back to the hospital for my 3-week checkup, went back to the hospital for my 6-week checkup. And when I went for my 6-month checkup, I was excited because I was feeling well. My hair had come back, my toenails had come back. And so I was excited because I was on the road to recovery. Went in for my checkup and found out again that I was in stage 3 again. This time it had come under my muscle. It almost attached itself to my bone. And we caught it in time, and they made me do 32 rounds of radiation. I found out that Monday, and of course, again, that following Thursday, I was in surgery again for the 3rd time, and I ended up doing 32 rounds of radiation. April 29, 2021, I rung the bell for the 3rd time, being breast cancer free.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Listen, I feel like I should have sent everybody a box of tissue because I think we all feeling that way. And they're not necessarily tears of sadness. I mean, these are just emotions that, we go through because you all are real human beings sharing your story and being willing to be open and vulnerable about what your journey has looked like. And so I appreciate you all more than you know. When I think about men, for women, there's a recommendation that you start getting mammograms at a certain age. But for men, that's not the case. Nobody's talking about breast cancer in men. And so what do you all feel like needs to happen? Because perhaps if your cancer had been caught sooner, Vance, maybe not, we don't know. You may not have gone through, it may not have continued to progress as it has. But what do you think, the medical community?
In my situation, the first time I had cancer, it was in the 1st stage. So that's not the case. It was just in the 1st stage. And maybe if I didn't have the car accident, who knows what would have happened? Mm-hmm. Because I had no symptoms. I had no leakage. I didn't have the puckering. Men have some of the same symptoms as women, mm-hmm. but we don't have them until the 3rd and 4th stage, which when we start hurting and leaking and having that type of stuff, then it's too late. Most men, American Cancer Society say that 2,165 men will possibly get breast cancer next year. Mm-hmm. And out of that 2,165 men, at least 585 of those men would die. And it's not because of lack of treatment, it's because of lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And then we have a mantra. We are, as men, we have this mantra. We can see that it's a knot there. We can see that it's green and it's yellow and it's blue. But if it's not hurting me, if it's not causing me any discomfort, I'm not going to go get a check. Mm-hmm. And I tell men all the time, when you do go get a check, the life that you save may be your very own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, Vance, when I say, what can be done differently, I just mean from the standpoint of women are trained. you know, that routinely at a certain point, we are going to go and have a mammogram. But it seems like the community is saying that men only go if there's a problem. And so if you don't recognize that there's a problem, it just seems like maybe the medical community needs to change something. And so along with getting y'all's prostate checked, maybe you all should be having a mammogram. And I know somebody gonna go out there and trademark that word, but I used it here first.
You know what, Dr. Adrienne, and what our Men for Men support group, we have a lot of different physicians come, and we have asked that question before. And the sad, it's about the numbers. If the numbers are not high enough to where it support having a mammogram once a year like a woman, they're just not going to do it. So just like Mr. Vance said, you have to go in and say, well, hey, I have some abnormality. I felt this type of way. And men just have to, just like Ms. Janice said, we have to learn our bodies. We have to know our body. You have to say, hey, this looks different today. This feels different today. You can't be like me and put a bandage on it for 2 weeks before actually going to get seen. And that's the crusade we're on, is trying to educate men to get out and go get seen and go get screened, regardless of whatever it may be. If your vision change, or, I mean, because I just learned a few years back that your vision has something to do, and when they look in your eyes, that has something to do with your diabetes as well. It could be early signs of diabetes. It's a lot of telltale things that us not being physicians, we need to go to a physician on a daily basis, on a annual basis, or even 6 months to go get seen our primary care and let them know and be vocal about what's going on, any changes, anything.
Yeah. And you know, I just did a podcast, and I'm gonna go to Idris. I came off of a podcast about menopause and mental health for Silence the Shame with my sister Shanti Doss. And so one of the things that I said on there is that men and women are a walking ball of hormones. And so we all got estrogen, we all got testosterone. And so we think that our bodies are a lot more different than they really are. And so, you know, when you see men who start to gain weight, for example, a lot of times we notice that men are gaining weight in their chest area, but we will, you know, listen to people make jokes and that sort of thing about, you know, you got man boobs and that sort of thing, without even considering the fact that some of the same issues that women can develop, men can develop them as well. And so exactly. I think that, you know, the brothers have to start putting some of that testosterone on the shelf, because this is about your health and wellness. And if you continue to ignore things that are going on with you, it's going to probably decrease your lifespan. You know, ain't nobody going to check out before it's time to check out. But sometimes they're just things that we need to do to keep ourselves healthy. All right. I saw Miss Idris waving her hand.
I just have a question for the gentleman, and let me just say, I was really moved by your testimonies, both of you. You taught me something that I didn't know, and I appreciate you. I really do, and I'm so thankful for men like you being open and willing to share, because it's all about education, like you said, and helping us all to learn. My question is, I was wondering, in your dealings with your journey, and I see Mr. Armstead mentioned he has a support group, and you all have physicians and specialists come and talk with you. Has anyone ever quoted the statistics of African-American men as opposed to Caucasian men in terms of breast cancer?
No, ma'am. The numbers are so small, they include all men. And you'll be surprised. We get calls and Zoom and meetings with all walks of men. And I speak of that in a politically correct way, you know, all ethnicities of men and join in, and everybody is just as hungry for information and curious to meet other men that are walking the same journey. And the numbers that we're given are in whole. I'm not sure, Vance, or you have any difference?
No, You're saying it right. That's why I said 508. I mean, 2,165 men. That is the national number for men, and out of that number, 585 will perish. Like he said, the numbers are so small. We're only 1% of the national total, so they don't even try to. What's the name? That's why it's so important for companies like mine. My company is called Pink Ain't What You Think. And I named it that because when you think about pink, you think about women. You think about the women's side. You forget about the men's side. And so there is an actual breast cancer ribbon for men. And when I wear it, if you can see it on my shirt, it's the blue and the pink together. And when I wear it, people are like, what kind of ribbon is that? I said, that's male breast cancer. Male breast cancer, they'd be so shocked. I've had 33 engagements this month. And almost every engagement that I went to, there were men there that did not know they could get breast cancer. And and to see the look on their face of shock and awe that, man, really, breast cancer? Because the first time my doctor told me, we had words because we were just joking before he walked out the room. And when he came back in and told me I had breast cancer, you know, I said a couple of expletives, you know, because we were playing. And then he was like, no, Mr. Stacks, you have breast cancer. You know, with that solemn look, and I was like, oh, wow. And my journey started from there.
You know what, if I may add on to what Vance is saying, a lot of time men are walking around with breast cancer. They don't even know they have breast cancer. And by the time they find out that they have cancer, it's found up to their body.
Right.
Like Mr. Vance said, a lot of people, it has elevated to stage 4 where it just spread to your bones, or I've heard of a gentleman, it's just other where the last place to check will be the breast. Right. So by the time they find out they have cancer, it has consumed their body.
Mm-hmm. Which is what brings me back to what we should be doing differently. So I want everybody on the call thinking about that, because you know, I always say that whatever it is that we go through is not for us. It's about somebody that's supposed to learn from our journey, that we are supposed to help. Our life is not about us. It's about somebody else that needs to learn a lesson from our walk. And so we've got to figure out what needs to change about this, because if we don't change it, then who will change it? I have a question for you all. So we've been dealing with COVID-19 since 2020. And I say that 2021 was really just 2020 plus one, because it seems like we just kind of carried some of this into this year as well. And we've had all these conversations about to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. And so when you are dealing with a compromised immunity, which I would imagine that if you are a cancer survivor, you fit into that category. And so there's been so much discussion about whether or not we should get vaccinated and who should get vaccinated. And I went to Tuskegee, Alabama and got vaccinated because I said one thing about the government: you messed us over one time with the syphilis study, you will not do it another time. So I knew if there was anywhere that I could go and feel safe taking the vaccine, it was going to be in Tuskegee, and that's what I did. And so, but you know, a lot of people don't understand how vaccines come about. There's a lot of discussion about, oh, it happened too quickly. But what they don't realize is that coronavirus did not just start in 2019. It has been around for a long time. And so that's a whole nother discussion. But I just want to know, as breast cancer survivors, what are your thoughts about COVID-19 and vaccination?
Well, I'm vaccinated. I made sure that people in my household, my son, my husband, they got their vaccine before I could. I waited until after I had my surgery. And once I had my surgery, you know, doctors just wanted to make sure that the medication they put me on, everything had leveled off. And then I got fully vaccinated. My daughter my son-in-law, even my son's girlfriend. She had to go get vaccinated because she was part of this bubble. But you know, we again, we walk by faith and not by sight. And I just think that, you know, God guided us to this point, and He gonna take us through it. So yeah, we need to take the vaccine, and I try to stay safe, you know, even though I've taken the vaccine, and still very cautious about where I go. And, you know, I stay masked up, and I still do those same things, sanitizing and all of that.
Okay. Who else? What are your thoughts?
I worked at a hotel, and the people were coming there with no mask on. So I was very concerned being a cancer patient. And we would have this conversation all the time. And I would just simply say, if you show me a hospital that's full of vaccinated people and not unvaccinated people, then I'll be on your page. Yeah. But right now, what's in the hospital and who's dying are unvaccinated people. Yeah. And so I immediately, when they opened up, I went and got it vaccinated. I'm about to go next week and get my booster. Because if I get sick, I know it's not a cure-all and it's not a cure, but it's a preventive measure that I will not die. I may get sick and may have some complications, but I won't die. And that's the most important thing to me. Because like the gentleman that's on here before, we are stewards of our family. We are stewards of our children. And our life is not our own. Yeah. And we need not be selfish. We need to go make sure we get vaccinated to protect. Because the life, again, that you save may not be your very own.
Yeah. Okay, Janet has her hand raised.
Yes, I would like to speak on behalf of the vaccination. I'm totally in favor of it, and I always have been ever since they made it available. My oncologist talked with me about the importance of staying safe during COVID when it first started, due to not only my immunocompromised situation, but another area that I have that impacts my health, which is rheumatoid arthritis. So I have a double situation going on that impacts that. So yes, I was vaccinated as soon as I could be, being that I am still part-time working with the school system. And that worried me. So I chose to work from home for most of that. But when I had to go in, I was very, very cautious about it. I still am. I have had my booster. As soon as it became available here in Virginia, I went directly to CVS and was probably the 5th or 6th person in line. But I took care of that. And so I do feel better knowing that I have it. Another important factor that I'll add is I did get COVID in late March, the last week in March, and it lasted until the end of the first week in April. And having had it, even though I had received my first vaccination, I was 6 days from getting the second when I caught COVID. And no one was more careful than myself as far as being isolated. I live alone. You know, I wasn't going anywhere. When I did have to go to small things like the grocery store, I was fully masked and gloves. You couldn't have been more careful. I was washing hands constantly, and still I caught the virus. And so having had it, I have never felt so bad in my entire life. Nothing has ever felt that bad. I didn't go into the hospital, but I was here alone for about 10 days with the worst migraine you could ever imagine. And that's the worst of mine, was this migraine. I didn't lose my smelling. I didn't lose my sense of taste, but the headache and the way I felt with no energy was so terrible that eating was the last thing. So I lost 10 pounds within that time, within 10 days. And thank God I got better, and thank God for neighbors who would bring things and leave them on my doorstep. But after going through that experience, I advise everyone, and I talk to those that I work with. And yes, you could guess that there are many teachers in my school system who are still unvaccinated because it has not been mandated. So, but I'm still spreading the word, honey. If you catch it and you're lucky enough to tell the story that you survived, you know, you would go and be vaccinated. It's just senseless to those who refuse to do it.
Okay, Miss Phyllis has her hand raised. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to add that I have an obligation as the friend of cancer survivors to not take anything new to them. If you have watched your friends suffer through something, then the last thing even if you don't care about yourself, you ought to care enough about them to get vaccinated and not be in a place where you're taking some additional pain to them. And so I say to people who say, well, I don't worry about myself, worry about the people around you, worry about the people who have those autoimmune deficiencies, and you could take something that could kill them off where you might survive. I have a very good friend whose husband caught it first, she caught it second, she passed away. He managed to get through it, she didn't. So we have to be aware of what we can do to people when we don't take care of, think about them as well. I'll just tell you, quite honestly, I lied to get the booster. I said that I had all kind of ailments. Everything they said, I checked, yes, I have it. Got the booster, and now I can ask Janet to go to lunch with me. I can ask Idris, but I still wash my hands. And if I'm in a group, then I come home, I don't see anybody that day until I take my shower, I change my clothes, wash those clothes. I have a routine that includes more than just washing hands, but being sure that I'm totally, that I cleanse myself before I have interaction with people. And so that's my commitment to my friends as well, to be sure that they are safe.
Okay. Idris has her hand up, and then I'm going to ask everybody to give us some parting words. But for the brothers that are on here, I certainly think that I see an international collaboration. You all have got to mobilize this thing. Now you all have come on here and met each other. I found you because of my friend, Dr. Tony Blackshear. I said to her, I want to find some brothers who are cancer survivors. And she actually found you all for me. So I appreciate Dr. Tony for doing that for me. But you all meeting is not by happenstance. Even you all meeting the ladies who are here. So there is work that can be done. So I want to go to Idris and then everyone for your final closing thoughts.
I won't be long, but I have been vaccinated. I couldn't wait till the vaccine was available for me, and all of my family has been vaccinated. I will get my booster on tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock from my doctor's office, and couldn't wait for them to approve Moderna, and they did, and so I'm thankful of that. And my daughter's teenagers, she made sure time it was approved for them, they got vaccinated. And now my youngest daughter has two little ones, an 8 and 9 year olds. As soon as CDC gives their stamp of approval, they will be in line to get one. So I'm just so glad the family is on board with that, because it's amazing how there are people out there supposedly intelligent that will stand before you and say, well, I just haven't made up my mind yet. I just need to wait a little while. I'm not too sure. It's moving too fast. The research doesn't say enough, it just bogs my mind, these flimsy excuses they give. But like Phyllis was saying, if people would step out of their selfishness and think of other people for just 1 minute, just a minute, then they'll realize how important it is for them to get the vaccine. But I'm an avid supporter of it, and I talk it, and anybody that I see, I haven't seen, I say, have you had your vaccine? Because I need to know, and I'm very careful about where I go. I mask up everywhere. come in the house washing my hands, and I have all kind of wipes and sanitize in my car. Every time I get in, I sanitize and wipe all of. So it's, you're almost paranoid, but I'd rather be that than be 6 feet under.
That's right. That's exactly right. All righty, Miss Deborah.
Yes,
I'm going in the order where I see you all. For
you see.
Okay,
yeah, I support vaccinations. I got my booster today.
Oh.
And my daughter will get her booster on Monday. And the wayward daughter will get hers whenever she gets back. And I call him my son-in-law. He's scheduled to get his on Monday. And I wish my grandson, who will be 4 in January, could get one, but he's not old enough yet.
Right.
But I do recommend that everybody get vaccinated. And I want to say too, years ago, I had a student from Tuskegee University who was assigned a special project. The students in social work had to do a project when they came for their internship at the VA. And her topic was breast cancer in men. And she said she wanted to do that because she hadn't ever heard of anyone doing a study on breast cancer in men. Her name was Abithi Thomas. I wish I could get in touch with her because I'd ask her to send me that study that she did. She presented it to the social work staff, and everybody was just, they were shocked that men can get breast cancer.
Yeah.
So I really want to
you
get
can
in
probably
touch.
find her on Facebook.
Probably so.
So
I would have seen her.
That's your assignment. That's your assignment.
That's my assignment. Okay, but I would have seen her at homecoming if we could have been at homecoming. But I'll get in touch with her and see if she still has that, because she did that study, and that was over 20 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Miss Janice.
I said my piece about vaccination, but cancer, and when you hear the word cancer, totally rocks your world. It rocks your world, but just know that it's not the end of your world. There are so many, and breast cancer has come so far, and with research and whenever I can support, or, whenever I'm talking to people, I want them to support. I just want to thank you for the opportunity of coming on and being able to tell my testimony, and just being in this platform for my friends and my family. I have a family friend, Shirley Perry, that's on here, and I know you didn't know that name, but she's been a family friend for years with my dad, and she loves on me, and I'm just so thankful. Yeah. Hey, Shirley, I'm just so thankful that I'm here, and I'm so thankful for my family and this journey. It's crazy to say you're thankful for the journey, but I'm thankful for my journey. Yeah. Because God has guided me, and I know he'll continue to guide me and keep me. And I love you, and I love everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Mr. Vance.
All righty. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to get in and tell my story. It's very important to me that I get out and spread the word about male breast cancer. That's why I started my company called Pink Ain't What You Think. I met people on Monday, and we would get to know each other and have great conversation. And then on the following Monday or Tuesday, you would ask, hey, where's Miss Smith, or where's Miss Brooks, or where's Mr. Brooks? And they'll give you this solemn look and say, well, they're no longer with us. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was just talking to them Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'll never forget, I met a 78-year-old woman, and she cried every day. And I know what chemo did to me. Chemo pulled my fingernails off and my toenails, and I lost my hair everywhere. And I know how depressing that was to me. So I knew what this 78-year-old woman was going through. Yeah. And so I thought that she was crying because she was just going through. And one day I finally talked to her, and she had this hyper spirit, and she was like, oh, I'm going to meet the Lord, and I live for him, and I love the Lord, and I lived according. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, church mother, you got this, all right. But why are you crying? I'm like, what's going on? And she said, son, I don't cry at home. She said, my children can't take me crying at home. And she said, I'm in stage 4. And the only reason I'm going through chemo is just to remain comfortable these next couple of days. Mm-hmm. She said, if I die tomorrow, my children cannot afford to bury me. Mm. I went to my car and I cried like a baby. Mm. I told God, I said, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And I went to, I'm wrapping up, but I went to a restaurant. I bought a full pink suit as a statement of life. Mm-hmm. And I went to a restaurant that Saturday to celebrate my birthday, because on the day I rung my birthday, on the day I rung the bell for the last treatment, it was also my birthday, my 51st birthday. Mm-hmm. So I went out to celebrate my survivor date and my birthday, that I was a 3 times breast cancer survivor. So I walked into the restaurant and I got all kinds of looks and stares, and they rolled their eyes, and, you know, and I got all of that. And there was a lady that said, well, she saw the cake in my hand. She said, is it your birthday? I said, yes, ma'am, it's my birthday. I said, but more important than that, I'm a 3-time breast cancer survivor. And before I can get that out, everybody in the lobby started clapping and yay, even the ones that were rolling their eyes and looking at me like I was crazy.
Right.
And so I went and sat down. And when I sat down, I was a little perturbed, but I could hear the Lord's voice so clear. He said, that's why what you're doing is so important, because pink ain't what you think. Mm-hmm. 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 So with my company, we're going to offer free direct cremations to those families that loved ones die of cancer. They don't have insurance. Yes. If you want to walk away with a no expense, allow us to do a free cremation. The next time you see your loved one, they'll be in an urn ready for a memorial service. If you don't believe in a cremation, then if it's $2,000 for the cremation, we'll offer your family the $2,000, and then you add the rest for the funeral service. Okay. But if you want to walk away totally free, allow us to do a total cremation, and everything will be free, and you walk away. Because at the time of you losing your loved one, that is the hardest time to be trying to scrape up pennies and dimes and nickels and car washes and fish fries to try to bury your mother. Right,
right. And I'll make sure that your information gets posted, and everybody that wants me to post their information, I can. Mr. Clifford?
Yes, ma'am. You know, I want to just commend Vance for what he's doing. Yeah. Wow. Heart goes out to you, my friend. I just wanted to share something with the ladies. I just want to say thank you to all the caregivers, the ones that answer calls, because a lot of time when we're going through, we don't realize how much of a plus the person answering the phone, or the one that's making sure we're getting our medication, or the one making sure we get into our doctor's appointment. I just want to say thank you, because a lot of time the caregivers go without us saying just thank you. Thank you to all the caregivers. But at the beginning of the show, Dr. Adrienne, you had mentioned the hormonals and stuff like that. And this goes out to Vance. Vance, since you've had your treatments and all that, we men pretty much have to take this pretty much the same medicine as women. Mm-hmm. So some of the stuff that we take is hormonal based, estrogen blockers and stuff like that. And some of the side effects is that we have hot flashes too.
Yeah.
and I have a greater appreciation for women, because sometimes I'm driving down the street and I got to stick my head out the window trying to cool off and this and that. So my heart goes out to you ladies. I know what you go through now.
Right.
Hot flashes are real.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about, Vance? Let me ask you something, Vance. Did you have to take the tamoxifen after your breast?
I'm on it now for the next 5 years.
Right. Yeah, that's a common drug that most breast cancer survivors have to take for 5 years.
And like you said, the hot flashes are real from that, bro. Yes.
Hey, man, all I can tell you is when you go to bed, have your big cold glass of ice water beside your bed.
Mine's always happened in church.
Oh no!
I be already in my robe, and man, bro, I be like, whoa, get me out of here.
Well, I'm glad we were able to wrap this up on a happy note, ladies, and I'm just so honored for you guys to have me on board, and I hope I brought some attention to male breast cancer, and even if you have a husband, if you have a nephew or whatnot, please make sure that they go get seen and go get screened on a yearly, if not 6-month basis. If something's wrong, please encourage them to go get seen. And thank you so very much, Dr. Adrienne, for having me on tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, all of you, to the pink ladies in the house, to these kings in the house willing to share their story. I just appreciate y'all more than you know. And as I said, I know that there is something bigger than all of us that is supposed to come from this. I really do let God kind of guide what I'm supposed to be doing. And so he really did put this together. I wanted this to be a celebration, and I think that it was exactly that. And everybody that needed to be a part of this celebration was here. There were some others that were invited, and I guess they couldn't make it. And but I love them just the same. But this was a perfect blend of my pink out. And so it exceeded everything that I could have imagined. Yeah. I appreciate you all, and I love you. And to all of you who were here, if you know somebody that should have been a part of this conversation, you can always go to COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne and share this podcast, because we've got to get the word out. We've got to continue to educate and enlighten people. So we can't say we don't know anymore. And my thoughts on the vaccine, I got my booster on Sunday because everybody from FAMU is calling it the homecoming booster. So we had to get ready for what we got going on in Tallahassee this weekend. And it's a personal choice and decision, but I have a 3-year-old G-baby who cannot be vaccinated. And so I don't want to take anything to her. And so, as everyone on here has echoed, y'all, sometimes it ain't about you. It's about keeping the people that you love safe. So with that, I will say this has been COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne, real talk with real people for real solutions. Go and love on somebody that is not that easy to love, because it's easy to love the people that you love. Good night.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you.
Right.
Enjoy.